What is going on, everyone, and welcome to Around the Metaverse, our weekly show where we bring together the best content creators from the Web3 community, talk about all the recent news, and give you guys everything you need to know to stay up to date. My name's Adam. I'll be your host today, but more importantly, we've got an amazing group of guests for y'all today. First and foremost, we've got CryptoStache in the house. How's it going tonight, CryptoStache?
Oh my goodness! Look! I hurt my finger.
Oh no!
I smashed on the car door.
Yeah, that is not good.
No, I don't like it. But I'm here. I'm doing it. Nothing's stopping me. That's simple.
Sick, broken fingers, but still out here like that. That's the type of trouble that you run into as an agent here in the GIA, man. Like, you're on the front lines.
They're always out to get me, man. They're always out to get me.
You just that's what you sign up for when you want to be in the a top stealth agent here at the GIA, working in front of Web3 gaming, right? But we've got a great group of guests coming on the show tonight. We've got we've got all new faces coming on the show tonight. A few from our community and a few from of our associate friends too coming to join us. First up, we've got Money Plane in the house, Web3 gaming content creator with Treasure and Onekin, and also GIA senior agent. Money Plane, great to have you on the show, man. How you doing tonight?
Doing great, man. Appreciate it.
Of course. Happy to have you on. Next up, we've got Forbidden Gods, another Web3 gaming content creator coming up in the ranks, and another GIA senior agent. Our Forbidden Gods, man, happy to have you on the show. How are you doing on this fine Monday?
I'm pretty happy. It's Monday, so starting the week. New big game coming soon too.
Hell yeah, man. And I see we've got Jack Skellington joining us for the party too, right?
Yes, indeed.
Hell yeah, man. Well, yeah, I think Jack Skellington is going to get a lot of insights from what we're going to talk about here today. We've got some interesting topics, but last and certainly not least, we've got our friend Kobe Streams, founder of the Catalyst OG and content partner for Play On Owned and GG Chronicles. Kobe, man, great to have you on the stream. How you doing on this Monday?
I'm good. It's still Monday for you guys. It's like Tuesday here in Southeast Asia, man. So
I was gonna say, what are you getting in you right now? Is that coffee on Tuesday morning?
yeah, it's coffee. And wait, I'm an agent in GIA. I have that subscribed. Wait.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I am.
Dude, I'm so sorry, man. I didn't even know that. Bro, all right. So we got dude. All right. I'm fucking up right now. I'm all right. My face is red. I'm embarrassed. I'm sorry, man. We've got a full agent show tonight. I didn't even realize that. But happy to have you on, man. We're going to be talking about some great things tonight, including why we mentioned this on the show a few weeks ago, but why Epic banned player-to-player skin trading in Rocket League. Some new developments came out last week for Fortnite that I think is probably why they made the choice to do that. And then we're also going to be taking a look at or talking about if a bull run is really upon us. Is that a good thing or a bad thing for Web3 games, particularly because I'm sure you guys watching and us here have seen the shift in focus from, all right, we're all about building good games to, all right, we're all about games that have tokens that number go up. And who knows, in my opinion, if that's a good thing or a bad thing for Web3 games. We'll get into it. But first, let's talk about Epic. And actually, before we get into the show, you guys watching out there, thank you for sticking with us so far. Little technical difficulties to start, so we're a little late. But go ahead and smash that like button and hit subscribe if you haven't already. We're going to hop in and talk about why Epic Games probably, or at least as far as I can tell, why they banned player-to-player Rocket League skin trading, because they just introduced last week in Fortnite a new mode called Rocket Racing, where you'll be able to. It's not full support right now, but you'll be able to use some of your Rocket League skins cross-platform that you own in Rocket League in Rocket Racing on Fortnite for through your Epic Games account. They're going to be introducing more of these skins, and that's probably why we saw them ban player-to-player trading, because this could have gotten pretty messy if that was still the case. And now there's even some pushback from gamers. They're offering new skins for Rocket Racing in exchange for V-Bucks. So we could see kind of why they wanted to lock down player-to-player trading, I think, in terms of the monetization side of that. But I want to get your guys' opinions on this and the next steps for Fortnite, because it's clear that they are, I think, one of the forefront runners of building the metaverse. But Moneyplane, let me start with you, man. I mean, like, do you think that this is like this choice that they made, or the introduction of skins in Rocket Racing from Rocket League to Rocket Racing is in part why they banned player-to-player trading for Rocket League skins like a month ago?
Yeah, I dug into it a little bit. I think absolutely. So I played a little bit of Rocket Racing. I was hoping there would be a little more interoperability because I have a ton of Rocket League skins, and I was really excited to have some of my, my battle bus, right? I could rock my battle bus in Rocket Racing or something. There's not a ton of interoperability, but one of the things that I sort of dug up is people use Rocket League as the example of why Fortnite might introduce trading. And so the idea that Rocket League shuts down trading, and then I think within 2 days they announced a big partnership with the NFL where all your cars could rep your team and everything. I mean, I don't know why they would shoot themselves in the foot, but Rocket Racing seems like the really obvious reason why.
Well, yeah, and it's funny too. Like right now, I think it's only support for Octane, the Lamborghini car, Jaeger, and Cyclone. But it's like, I think they plan to introduce more, and this is probably like the first step of, them rolling out full support. Once they, I'm sure there will be some sort of kinks that they need to nail out, right? Um, but Kobe, let me ask you. Like, do you think it's well? So there was a little bit of pushback from players on some of not the interoperability between Rocket League and Rocket Racing, but some of the new skins that they introduced in Rocket Racing that I think are like it's like $40 or something like that for a couple skins in V-Bucks, and I mean. I could see why there's a little bit of hate. Like, do you think that it's fair for players to be upset about this, especially when like they just, potentially players who had awesome Rocket League skins are now not able to trade them or monetize them in any way potentially? Uh, you know.
Yeah. Actually, it's been an issue with me and my kid because we're both playing Fortnite and Rocket League. So first we were like trading, we were like switching up skins to and fro. Now my kid is like asking me, "Can I use your account because I need to use your skin?" Like for that example. Now with that happening, my kid is like asking, "Dad, I need this skin." I saw the post about this is like the um highest range skin on Fortnite right now. That's going like $20 to $40. So they're like, I need that. I need that. Okay, why? You can still play it. Like I know the pushback. I think it's like really funny. It still depends where you're coming from. Like totally, it really depends on where you're coming from.
Well, yeah, and I think particularly people who like if you're new to the game, right? It's not a big deal, and some people have been like conditioned to not even
Yes,
gawk at $40 for a few
right.
skins and not even hope to regain any sort of monetary value out of that. I mean, like Stash, let me ask you, particularly with this, I think we've talked about this a couple times where like of anyone in Web3, like no one is even close to matching Fortnite when it comes to like, okay, we're actually building a real metaverse. Like all you people say you're building a metaverse, but we're actually doing it. Would you say that's accurate in them being like the leading player in like building the metaverse or in changing the gaming and entertainment industry into something that can be called a metaverse?
Bro, if you don't look at Fortnite at this point and think metaverse, I don't know what is. Like seriously, it's exactly what we think about when we're talking about that kind of, once again, I'll go back to like the Ready Player One style metaverse where everything is connected. You got, you got some crazy dinosaur over here, and you got a freaking flying car over here, and you got, a Mechazoid, Godzilla on this side. Like that's exactly what Fortnite is doing, man. They're bringing all these IPs on. When you jump in and it's like, okay, well, I can play as like one of the regular kind of looking Fortnite characters, or you could play as Peter Griffin, all buffed out, or Bender from Futurama, right? And they look like cartoons. So you look at that interoperability and how we can bring all those things together, and it just works. And people are like, oh no, if you do all those things, it won't work. It'd be stupid. Who wants to drive a Lambo while there's a dragon flying overhead? That's just dumb. No, it's not, and it's working perfectly. And Fortnite is making millions off of it. I mean, when you see this newest rollout with Lego Fortnite, and then what we see right now with with the new rocket racing and kind of like it has that interoperability, right? So they're kind of bringing Rocket League kind of to Fortnite, but really seeing that inner ecosystem operability is the first step in getting to a wider interoperability standard, because this is what Epic and Unreal Engine are really good at doing in general. Is they're good at laying the foundation, right, building it out using Fortnite, right, testing it, and then being able to roll that out, right? So think about anybody that is creating with UE5. Eventually, all these assets will be interoperable, right? It'll be a standard that you just zip it on over to something else. And I think that people were probably pretty pissed about the fact that, like, hey, we can't trade Rocket League skins anymore. I put all this money into this, thinking that these are going to be, worth something I could do it. But really, they did that so they could kind of get a handle on things, so they could kind of roll this out and make this kind of, first inch towards a standard is how I feel about it, right? I think that's what they're trying to do here. Is they're trying to create a standard and using this as one of the first little toes dipping into the water of interoperability. But I think it's great. I know a lot of people did have issues, and we're talking shit about this. But now that we know and see the reason why they were doing it, I think it makes sense, man. I think it's awesome. Why wouldn't you want to have a skin that you could use both in Fortnite and Rocket League instead of just in Rocket League? That makes that skin much more valuable to me, right? So if I want to trade it now, there's more value there, man. You could use it in 2 games. That's kind of cool.
Well, even without trading, which it seems like Fortnite is probably not going to maybe not going to be something that they ever introduce, based on, like, at least when Rocket League and Psyonix came out and said we're doing this in like support of Epic's policy about certain things, then I'd say it wouldn't be fair to assume that, like, we're going to get trading for Fortnite skins anytime soon. And to your point of, like, they're the people who are the furthest along with this. Were you going to say something?
Well, I was just gonna say, like, but that's exactly what I would do if I was Epic and I was trying to get a handle on this to create this interoperable standard. You got to shut everything down first, equalize it, get everybody on that playing field, and then you roll it out and say, boom, now we have trading again, and it's gonna work across all these things. Because you don't roll it out before you do those things, because then it'll be a complete clusterfuck, right?
I mean,
that's how I see it.
We've seen how
it's coming. I'm telling you, trading is coming back, dude. It may not happen right now, but it is coming back. I look like prediction within 1 year. By this time next year.
And so, well, and this actually this brings me to the next question. So, Forbidden, let me ask you. I mean, do you think, like, what's your take on where Fortnite is in terms of, like, being a leader in building the metaverse? And then, like, when Stache says, in a year they're going to bring back trading, do you think it's possible that could be, like, do you think they are a company that would consider doing this standard that he's talking about being something like a standard that we have here on the blockchain for NFTs, like 721 ERC 720, it's 721
or 1155 now there's 1155C. I forget whatever Gabriel's working, like that's the other one. And that's actually pretty cool too. Good updates there.
But yeah. What do you think about, like, do you think Fortnite would ever consider doing, like, an open, decentralized, like, trading network, or is this all going to stay behind closed doors within their ecosystem, where, say, for example, like CS:GO players, you say something wrong, you do something bad, your Fortnite account is banned, or your Epic account is banned, and now all of the games that you love to play, you can't use any of the skins in, because they're all interconnected.
What I think in that case, because I read an article, it say for using the skin for Fortnite, you needed to have the NFT of the other game, the game of Fortnite came from with racing. So that's why what I think in my head, if you need to have the NFTs and the skin together to have the skin available on Fortnite, it's like, and after that you close the NFTs market, it's like, okay, so the NFTs gone, they take control of the skin, they take control of the ecosystem of the NFT as well. And after that, they want to control, like, I think the market price. I think so. So I think in my head, it will be like centralized to be less interesting, like in the blockchain that while look, because all players have their own control of the price as itself. If the price go lower, it's because someone want to sell it as fast as they can. So you control all the market as you want more than what the market of the store, Microsoft or any Epic game decided to say that's value is 1,000 V bucks, so we can sell it at 1,000 V bucks, not more, not less, just that price.
Mhm. Well, yeah, I tend to agree with you in that too. Where I mean, at least as far as we've seen, I don't think Fortnite and Epic would surprise me if they came out a year from now, Stash, and said, "Hey, like we're coming out with trading again, and it's all going to be done through, an Avalanche subnet we're building or something like that."
Okay, so that would surprise me. Okay, that would be a huge. I mean, that would be epic. But it could happen. But no, I don't think personally. If I think trading is going to come back, I don't think it's going to be blockchain based. I don't think it's going to be NFT based at all. That is way down the road. But I do think they'll bring it back, man. I do think they will.
And then we'll just
Centralized, of
everyone,
course.
yeah, and then everyone will start figuring a way to get skins in other people's hands outside the terms of service. They'll get banned, and people will complain, and we could just have a better system, but alas, Fortnite and Epic, you just want to control the market, control your ecosystem, and I guess I don't blame you, but.
No, I mean that's a big thing. You think about these large corporations, these large, gaming conglomerates, right? They want to keep, like right now the narrative is keep you in our ecosystem, and we don't want you to go anywhere else. But I'm telling you, like that narrative is slowly changing, right? Usually that's what happens is like one or two things changing slowly and then boom all at once, So I think that yeah, so I do think that eventually we'll be at a point where these large gaming studios are leading the way, saying, "Hey, we're going to make our stuff interoperable, not just in our ecosystem. That'll be the first play, but outside of that too." And industry standards are how you do that. Like it makes it easy to just plug and play, man. So we'll see things back and forth between even Unity and Engine and Unreal Engine too. It's happening. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of when.
And it's a matter of when those companies figure out the value of the network effect is more than the value of keeping everything like controlled within their own ecosystem.
Yeah.
And I mean, if anyone is going to do it, I guess Fortnite, because look at what they're doing currently. So maybe let's hope for the best, right? And Epic, Epic has probably been listening to us for some time, given their liking, welcoming crypto projects on the launcher and things.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
me and Tim, we're good friends. We talk about this stuff. I've been trying to convince him. He's a hard nut to crack, though. I will tell you that.
Tim is actually a GIA informant. So
this whole time, guys. He's been in there top level.
That's where we get a lot of the intel is straight from the spout. We got them good connections. But
Agent Sweeney.
No, all right. Well, all right. Going on, sort of the similar subject of like, is Fortnite building the metaverse, and like all of the exciting attention returning to the space here, particularly with what they're doing, and then what is happening natively within Web3. I want to ask you guys about the potential bull run that people are talking about. I know the markets, the streets are a little bit red today. For some of you new folks are out here, you're probably like, oh my God, this is a crazy dip right now. But dude, it's like, this is nothing, man. I was like, where's the 25% candle, man? Where's the 25%? I want a wick. I guess there was a pretty big wick to fill up your bags on if you had orders placed. But I want to ask you guys more specifically about Web3 gaming. And if if this really is the beginning of the next bull run, which it could very well be, is that going to be good for Web3 gaming? Particularly, like, I'm sure you guys watching and many of you guys here, or all of you guys here on the show have seen, like, all right, number go up. Who cares about games anymore? Let's talk about the token. Let's talk about how do we pump the token? How do we make the number go up? What's the utility of the token? Stake the token to get more to get yield on
get more tokens or another token.
To get more tokens. Buy this NFT and you'll get tokens from this NFT, but who knows how you'll be able to use the tokens or the NFT in the game? Who knows, right? It's crazy. But all right, Moneyplane, let me start with you first, man. I mean, do you think the shift in focus towards tokens and the financial side of Web3 gaming will help or hurt the industry? And two, like, how do you think it will affect like the progress we've made in the eyes of normal gamers, let's say, for the last 2 years? Because I'd say it's fair to say they don't care about any of what most of us have been talking about the last 3 weeks as the market has gone up.
Yeah, so I mean, to the first one, this is a little bit of a cop out, but I'm going to say both, right? It helps and it hurts. Token attention on these games, you see prices going up. If they're able to launch a token and do a raise based off of launching a token, great. Now they've got runway and they can build their game, right? The downside is when everybody's hungry for a token and you've got people out there constantly searching for the next thing because they missed the last thing, they end up buying a token of the Lyra demo, third person shooter that somebody reskinned, right? And they don't know what they're getting into, and their token's locked up for 2 years, and this game's going to launch, and people aren't going to have fun playing it, and they're not going to have fun holding the token in lockup either. So it's give and take. Hopefully good games get funded out of it, right? And can you just remind me on the second question? I lose my train of thought really
you're
easily.
good. I think you're right on the money there. I would agree with you in that. But second part was like, do you think the attention that is being moved on the financial side of things right now is like, how does that affect not just like on the projects might get funded, but people are out there looking for tokens and extracting from the ecosystem maybe, but like, how does this affect the awareness of our industry for like the people that at least everyone in the space was claiming they wanted to bring in, right? Everyone's claiming, all right, let's build games that Web 2 folks like to play. And how do you think this shift like looks to them right now?
Yeah, I think for the people that already hated Web3 gaming, this validates their opinion because they try to go in and buy, or they look at the cost of an NFT and it's like, oh, $800 to buy this thing for the chance to play, early access on a game or something. And it's just, it's so hard to try to convert those people, especially around token talk, because it's just going to validate opinions that they already have. I think any eyes on the space that's always good to have more eyes on the space. And ultimately, again, if it gives games funding, if they can hire more devs, if they can increase their runway and have the time to build the game, gameplay is going to convince people. I do think if there's really, really good tokenomics, really good P2E that can sustain, you will see people trickle in. I'm a big proponent of games launching a non-NFT, non-P2E version, but also having this sidebar version where people can play to earn if they want. And then eventually you're playing the same game, and the people who aren't earning are going to find out people are playing the same game and they're earning, and they're going to go, well, wait a minute, and they'll just switch over, right? That seems like the most natural progression to shepherd people in.
Well, yeah, and I'd say even further than that, a game will be made that doesn't need to have two different versions because, like, that the technical side that enables the better player experience, right? Being able to own your assets, being able to move them out of the ecosystem, maybe being able to monetize your time in the game in some form through, a token or something like that if it's done in a sustainable manner, right? Which is very, very hard to do.
I don't know about that, man. I would kind of disagree there. I think that creating two versions of a game like that, so far from what we've seen, has not been successful. It hasn't driven people to be like, oh, I'm playing this game. I found it on Steam. Oh, wait. You can play it in a different version and go get the NFTs and earn. I don't feel like that has actually driven any real traffic to these games. And honestly, I think that kind of that strategy has failed for almost every game that has gone to Steam. If you go look at any of these games on Steam that have like a dual version, right? Superior did it, failed. Phantom Galaxies did it, completely failed.
But
I mean, every single one of them, man, and because they're getting trashed on the NFT aspects because people hate it, right? I don't feel that like it's really going to be like that thing that hate draws you into that. Like if you really want to do that, just be on a platform that allows you to have those features and promote that and own that. The like, hey, we're going to be on everything because we need that exposure, but it's not going to be good. And that's the problem. Phantom Galaxy is a perfect example. Now, outside of the fact that they had server problems, the other thing that everybody was complaining about there and talking shit on was the fact that it was an NFT-enabled game. Even though that version had nothing to do with NFTs in it. Because it can't, because it's on Steam. And they just got ripped apart. So I don't feel like that's a good path for games to be doing that. And it's a bunch of extra work.
Well, yeah, and I mean, almost every Web3 game that has been launched on Steam or like with two versions or not has suffered kind of a similar fate. But there is one I did see an interesting thing, and I was surprised to see this because we talked about this game a long while ago. MIR4 is like has like tons of downloads and plays from Steam and like mostly positive reviews from it. But I think that's in part too because like the typical audience for that game is in like the Eastern markets, and they're
Yeah,
very
well, it
much
also
more,
came from an existing Dynasty game, right?
yeah.
So it was a game that they've already had tons of mirrors something games, you know. So like it was just like, all right, we'll just jump on this, and it kind of feels familiar, and you know, I don't think that makes that big of a difference.
I think they did at
But
least a
good
good
point.
job
Good point.
of like, you know, of a game that doesn't have two versions, that it adds to like that blockchain technology in a way that isn't like totally like it creates a ton of friction for normal players who want to play it. And then eventually, once you've played the game long enough, it introduces it to them as like, oh hey, here's a little extra stuff that you can do
Yeah.
to, you know, you've spent a ton of time in this game already. If you're going to keep spending time, I mean, granted, the way you earn is really grindy and like farmy, right? But
Yeah, it's so bad.
such as every MMO, right? High level playing in any MMO is a lot of grinding and farming. I mean, until a new expansion comes out and there's new content in like for MMOs, right?
Yeah.
If we're talking about
Well, with
MMOs.
Mirror 4, you just can set it and forget it. Bink. All right, autoplay. Just go ahead, do the thing, like, and
Yeah.
it just goes and does it all. You don't
But-
have to be there. You're just like, all right, I'm gonna go get a chicken. I'm gonna eat some chicken.
For-
I don't know. People like chicken, man. You know, that's what you would do. Like, you're like, I'm gonna go get some chicken dinner. All right, go grind my shit, mine. Go hit the quests.
Yeah.
I'll be back in an hour.
Hey, that's, you know, a lot of people like that, right?
Honestly, you know, it's not okay. Like, that's not a bad feature in my opinion. It's just how it's implemented. One of the coolest features that I've seen in Web3 gaming that I've not seen in any game in Web3 or outside of Web3, and I don't know why, because it's actually a really good feature, but a little known game called 9 Lives Arena. It's been around for a long ass time.
A long time.
They have a really cool in-game like helper pet
The Oogie.
called Oogie, and basically what you do is you grind a little bit to load him up on resources, and then you can set him to tasks to do things while you're offline. And so then when you come back, like, he's collected, you know, 1,000 wood, or he's collected 50 shells. You know what I'm saying? I always thought that was like really, or he's crafted 10 weapons because you gave, like, I always thought that was like really cool. And then they, you know, the idea was they had like a companion app that you could just keep going in and doing that, you know,
Manage the
on your
Oogie.
mobile phone and like top them up or do things or manage it. And I always thought that was like a really cool thing. It's kind of like a in between.
That's, I mean, what you just described is basically what Illuvium is doing with Illuvium Zero. From what I
Yeah.
understand.
I mean, well,
But without
kind
the
of,
automated,
yes.
like, you know, without the automated, like, I have a character going out and doing stuff for me in an automated way. But
Right.
like,
No, having the companion app is really cool to manage your resources. But yeah, like, this was kind of combining the best of both worlds, where it's like literally like autoplay a little bit, but not fully, right? You know, I think that's kind of interesting.
I mean, yeah. Well, it's a shame that I thought the game was pretty interesting too, but it just, like, you know, they kind of fell off.
They're really, yeah, because they're like a really tiny studio, man. They never really got funding. You know, they started off here really early in the crypto gaming, you know, narrative in 2020, 2018, and you know, they just like, because they were on Engine, I feel like that really hosed a lot of those really early gaming projects that were on Engine. You know.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I can already say that we're seeing projects that have been around for the last, you know, that maybe were around and survived the bear market. Like, you'll see them again.
Oh yeah. But yeah, interest is coming back, money's coming back.
Yeah, we'll see. But Forbidden, let me get your opinion on this, man. I mean,
On this,
well, let me ask you this: do you think it's important for a game to have a token, and like, if so, how do you think they can go? Like, what do you think is the best way to implement it into the game?
what I discovered recently is a mobile action MMO game, Magic Craft. Okay, that game is three-type game, very interesting, action, very art. You have two-way on Steam to play it like Web2 gaming, but it's just started. Okay, you gain daily quests from each days for the Web2 gaming style, but it's keep the same game client, and you go to the website lobby.magicraft and you just join the lobby. From there you connect automatically to the client to go to the room and you join the free earning play platform. Very interesting because it use the web2 client to connect to the lobby of the web3.
Well, yeah, and that's what we need with games too. Is like the onboarding process is one thing, which should be easy, even if like knowledge of Web3 is required for the game, just because that's the first step of, like, you know, if any Web2 person is like, oh, I have to sign up for a wallet, I'm, you know, one of every two of those people is already, you know, they're done. They're out. They're never gonna play. And so like
100%.
if
The
I
Fortress
say 100%
Arena
people.
use Wax Wallet, and they just give the 8 wax directly to all player to open the free Wax Wallet. That's why I found like if you need to pay for a Wax Wallet, the creator of the game can give the Wax for just open the Wax Wallet and earn from the game, like the
wax
Forge Arena did. It's
wax
just
no go for it.
it's just a low cost token maybe, but it's just for fun. And like so, Wax 45 is like $4, and when you play art and you gain that $4 because you play like a Quake game, old school, and you get destroyed yeah.
Any, anyone here who's been watching Stash's channel for a long time knows very intimately what about Wax, and I'd say
I
like
love wax. I mean, look, man, I
well,
like wax,
their
but
user
there's
onboarding is great, but so
it
their
was
one
better
issue.
before.
Well, yeah,
because
their
of
one
what what Forbidden Gods was saying. Like before, they used to subsidize the account creation
Yes.
cost. On Wax, you have to. It's a small cost. They make you pay to make an account to prevent botting, which totally makes sense. But it's still hard to do, right? And so that becomes the issue. Is like, well, how do we do that and onboard people and make it easy? But without them having to like jump in and have to have the token and whatnot. And so it's a balancing act, man. Engine has some new things like that too, with like their fuel tanks and engine matrix chain they just rolled out. Their new tech is actually really good as well, but it's a constant problem. Yeah, with all the changes.
Yeah, I always thought Atomic Wallet and like the tools that they made for creators was
great.
always really user
Top
friendly.
notch.
But yeah, the one issue is like, oh, I have to stake for rent. You know what I mean? It's like you gotta like
That's confusing.
fund your
Yeah.
account, and it's
Yeah.
no one wants to do that. No one
Yeah,
wants to
it's
do that.
confusing.
Most normal people don't want to do that. Nerds who are like, yeah, this is awesome to prevent bots and the other utilities that it provides, like, love it. But normal people are like, f that. I don't want to have to like put gas in my gaming tank, like literally in the car.
I mean, the funny thing about that is it's like, all right, what are the options, right? So you look
Well,
like,
yeah,
okay, you either have a gasless chain, right? And there are gasless chains out there where literally nothing costs anything. There's no anything. There's nothing you have to pay ever, right? But then it's really easy to bot something like that, right? Then you have Ethereum, like an Ethereum, where the fees can be astronomical. I mean, you're paying. It could be, yeah. That's how I feel about it. Go like, damn, dude, like $50, $100 sometimes on crazy, transactions. It is ridiculous.
It's
and then you have like the low cost stuff, right? Where it's like, okay, well the fees are there, but they're really low cost, right? And you don't. But and then the fourth option is like what Wax has is where you stake stuff, right? And you can get it back anytime you want. I actually do like that system because you're not actually paying anything. You're just staking it and holding it there to cover the cost for the transaction, essentially, but it doesn't go away. So
And also you can vote to earn some wax as well.
Yeah,
So if
voting,
you
and
put
there's
10
a
wax
right.
on CPU RAM, you vote, you get back your wax. You
Yeah.
like, wait a
got it.
minute, I got back my 20 wax. Well, I just vote and I stack 20 wax. So you just like, cool, freebie.
I'm waiting.
You get
I'm
voting
waiting
rights
for
too.
the bull market to keep. I'm waiting for us to keep running up, and then eventually I'm going to look at my Wax wallet and say, "Oh my God, look at all the staking rewards that have a." You know what I mean? It's like
we're rich.
I haven't touched it in 2 years, and there's like $100 staking or something like that. It's gonna be, maybe it'll be crazy in a year. Who knows? But no, Kobe, let me get your opinion on this, man. Particularly one thing I don't think it'll happen in the same way that it did 2 years ago with say like Axie and Pegexy and projects like that. But I can already see projects and people in the space, maybe not real gamers, but definitely like at the at not Pudgy Penguins, but at Art Basel, we were at this like Sappy Seals event, and all of these like gaming was on everyone's mind at this event, even though it was like mostly PFP, a lot of like NFT focused events and really just crypto focused events and things like that happening. Everyone wanted to know what was happening with gaming. We went to the Sappy Seals event, and a couple people asked like me and Paisan about what is up with Web3 games when they learned what that's kind of the area we like specialize in. And we were like, okay, like, have you heard of these games like Shrapnel, Illuvium, Big Time? And he's like, no, what are you talking about? And then he was like, all right, well, what games are you playing? And basically he went on to say like, oh, I got into crypto originally in NFTs because of gaming, and I saw an interest there. But then I'm not interested in Web3 gaming anymore because I've been scammed so many times. And we were like, dude, which games are you like investing in? And I couldn't even, Paisan and myself didn't even know what they were. They were clearly like NFT.
Degens, bro. These are
Yeah,
degens you're
Degen.
talking to. Like they
No, no, no.
just like
And no. His very first
YOLO.
question to us when we like said which games these are, he was like, "All right, which one of these can you earn money in right now?" And we were like, "All right, well, like big time is probably what you could earn the most in right now, but like that's probably not going to be sustainable. And not like if you're getting into big time right now, like you're probably the exit liquidity in my opinion. But not to say that the big
I
time
mean,
is doing
if
is
you're buying all the shit up, then yeah, you could be. But
yeah.
you could
Well,
go in and
that's
still
what I
play
mean.
for free and earn. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
Not
that's what I
easy,
mean.
but
So,
it's still good.
someone who's looking to get into it right now to invest in the game to make their investment back as like I'm gonna buy all this stuff and then grind the
Yeah,
games and make
that's
my money. It's at least for me, you're late to the party, so
Yeah.
tread carefully. But that's my point was like with this at the Sappy Seals event, it was like no one cared about actual games. They just cared about like what we know is play to earn, right? And Kobe, I want to ask you, like, do you think that is ever going to be like that model could make a return here? And do you think it's ever could ever be done in a sustainable way?
Yeah. I think, yeah, backtracking to that, I think we will be able to make it work. Like, everyone can make it work. Like, it happened in the 2021, but now we're more careful. Like, everyone's treading carefully. We don't want that back. Like, for real. Now, yeah, regarding big time, yeah, I can see your point. Like, you'll be executing, yeah, for sure. But it still depends how you actually play the game. So if you'll be playing like just returning the big time that you'll be harvesting or you're grinding for back to the system, and you don't have like any specific used to the game, but we can still make it work, like for real. Um, but what I can see here is like someone told me this. There's DGen gaming, what happened with Art Basel, like for real. And there's like Web3, the actual Web3 gaming that hunts a grind, hunts the gameplay. Those people that actually built on the bear will be more productive and will make more sense here in the bowl. So I think that's it. It all depends on how we handle it and how we
I
spread it.
Yeah.
I agree with you, man. But it's if in that example, right? If the sinks in the game, right? If the utility of this token that you're earning or whatever it is that you could otherwise sell and make money, like for you, I could sell this for money. uh, if there's sufficient in value of using that within the game's economy, then yeah. But the issue is, man, when the attention of like the financial aspect of, oh my god, I played this video game and made $3,000, which is like basically the headline of everyone's content, maybe around big time or many people's content around big time, let's say, that attracts the folks who are like, I don't care at all about this game. I just want to buy all this stuff and extract as much money as possible. And if there's even one person doing that, they're going to out farm, they're going to out capital every other normal player until that game is sucked dry of the healthy economy that it maybe had. And that's what
Yeah,
I mean.
it's happening right now. It's
Well, but
literally
that's what I
happening
mean.
right now.
That's
Yeah.
what I mean. Is can it ever be done sustainably if there's going to be bad actors?
It
Easy.
comes down to the limitations, I think, man. That's
Yeah.
all. Yeah.
But it's I guess I guess that's true in any game with a dynamic economy like big time, where it's like World of Warcraft. I'm sure World of Warcraft definitely had to step in at times to like basically moderate what was happening within the different servers and the economies there, because people were finding ways to dupe the system and
Exploits.
like sell stuff outside the terms of service for real money. But when he
Well,
playing
my suggestion is like just add more content. If you'll be able to like, if you're like a developer that really loves the game and like, not saying that they don't do it, but you need to add more content for real. Big time is like an enclosed open world, as they say, because you just move around, but all the battles, all the gameplay is still on the dungeon, like for real. So, and that's where the grinding goes. Like you go to the dungeon, get the big time tokens, go out. So it's really repetitive, to be honest.
Yeah.
So if they won't be like adding more to that, like I don't think that will be like
an issue.
Well, you're right. That'll help expand the economy as they add more things, as they're adding different layers. You're right. Right now, it is a bit repetitive. That's what I've said about big time. But that's every MMO. Like, there just has to be so much content, right? I mean, that's why an MMO is one of the largest undertakings when it comes to gaming, because of how much content you have to have and the style of game it is. When you look at, just the overall big picture, right? Everything we've been kind of talking about and bringing it all together, is a bull run like this a bad thing for Web3 gaming? And I agree with Money Plane. It's both, right? The exposure we're getting because there's so many people coming in because of the hype cycle with this bull run is great, right? Because there's new people coming in, or people who have been around and now they're coming back. They're getting re-exposed to these games, right? So there's going to be more people playing them, more people interested in them. But the bad side of it, obviously, is that it attracts a lot of speculators, right? A lot of speculation to these games. And so what happens when the bull run is over? That's the biggest thing, right? So in the bull run, everybody's a genius, everyone's having a good time, everyone's making money. But what happens to all that attention and all that that hype when the bull run is over for that game? We've seen this in the last cycle. A lot of games just die because not only the fact that and not necessarily because their economy collapsed, although that has happened many times. They collapsed because they were reliant on these players, this big push during the bull, and they couldn't sustain those daily active users or that interest after the bull run. And so that becomes a big problem, right? So bull run driving a lot of these things, it's an important thing to understand that there's going to be this feast and famine cycle with these games, and you can't really avoid that if you're going to have a tokenized economy where people can actually earn money in it. It's a double-edged sword. The bull run is a double-edged sword. Lots of attention and interest, but you need to use that in this bull run to really capitalize and bring people outside of just the speculation element. And that's the biggest key here, right? Use the speculators as a springboard to bring in the real people who are going to play the game in the long term, even after the bull is over and even after the bulk of the rewards maybe have been distributed in the early phases because you got in early, right? That is the biggest thing. So, it's a bad thing, but it's also a good thing too. It just depends on how they take advantage of it. But a lot of these games are playing it wrong. They lean into the speculators because of all the money is there, and that gives them no longevity. So they burn out real quick. They're burning the candle at all 5 ends.
All 5 ends. All 20.
What kind of candles do you have?
I don't. It's like, I don't know, man. A menorah, bro. Why you like it's
Menorah.
All I meant was that
YouTube.
there's too many. Like, just pull it on back.
What were you saying, Forbidden?
I see, because on God Unchained, I see a guy say I got $10,000 in God Unchained. I look at what it's doing. It was giving away gods, and I was like, okay, do we buy pack? Do we keep some gods for later? Do we keep some for bull run? And after that, I see him on YouTube saying, I lost money, blah blah, just complaining. Quit the game, return back with another 10,000 from the game creator. I'm like, give me that 10,000, I will win that money and will never complain about you.
Hey man, that's just because he sucks. Gods and Chains is a skill-based game, so if you're losing money in there, you're not earning tokens. It's probably because you're getting destroyed by the people you're playing.
Well, yeah, and of
Same with Parallel, right? Right, Money Plane.
Yeah,
Skill-based,
Parallel
you gotta
guy.
win. You gotta win to
I was
earn.
about to say, of any style of game that it would lean more towards the benefit from a bull run than it would not benefit from a bull run. TCGs, I mean, I think very much there's not too many downsides, merely because the collectible element and the actual, because most TCGs are, let's be honest, play to win, right? Or
pay to win. They are, right? No one's gonna argue. They are. They're pay to win for sure.
That's what I mean, and that's what I mean is because they have to be.
Yes.
A bull run is great for TCGs
Yes.
because all it is notoriety for something that already can that's what's going to inevitable anyways if the game gets popular is that the value of the assets go up, because that's just how it works. Of the rarest cards with the best utility, or just maybe it's rarity for the sake of low supply, and I like this type of card, but typically those are both
powerful,
the same. No one's going to want to dump their assets. No one is just dumping their cards if they're going to continue playing the game, right? And so TCGs are definitely positioned. So Gods Unchained, Parallel, maybe Splinterlands. Who knows? SPS got a little bit of a pump, but
Dude, I'm
what
telling
the
you
hell's-
right now, look, my card collections for both Splinterlands and Gods and Chains. I'm an OG player, and I have cards from their early beta phases for both of them. They're all so in the money at this point. Like
In the big money,
they're
yeah.
worth a lot more than I pay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean it's ridiculous.
Get in on TCGs early is
Yeah,
the,
oh no,
yeah.
100%. Get on any Web3 game early. That's the play. You know, I just put out a video about like 6 tips to like really look at for the BullRun, and that is my biggest tip. Get in early. If you really want to be, even if you're not even gonna like worry too much about the earning aspect, just like
Don't be
any
late.
game, man. If you're gonna play an MMO, man, you want to be there day one. Why? Because you know if you're not, man, you're gonna be behind everybody else in that grind. They're gonna be level 50, and you're just a scrub starting out at level 1, and you gotta catch up, man. Nobody likes that shit.
I'd say
Actually, I don't
yeah.
mind
Well,
that much.
it's equally important to not be late because like the worst thing is losing all the money you maybe made, or if you didn't make money, losing money that you couldn't afford to lose
Sure.
on something that everyone it's like already everyone if you're already seeing everyone talk about it on Twitter, it's probably already too late, and you should find the dude who's like, well, all right.
I don't know, man. Twitter's still pretty small. Yeah, it depends on who you follow and how quickly you see it. But like, I think in the scope of things, like the way I see the future of us, right, is like Web3 as a community. When these new games and things are happening, we're gonna know about it first, and then the larger community outside of that's playing, that's like just your mainstream gaming, they won't know about it until we've already been knowing about it for weeks, because that's what we're focused on, right? We're focused on those elements, and they're not so much. So we'll always have that advantage over mainstream gamers who don't immerse themselves in the Web3 side of things.
Well, yeah, and it's not. They wouldn't. I mean, if anyone is going to, they will. And so that's non-competition. If you're talking about like crypto PvP, and if, like, all right, there's a losing trade to every winning trade in this game, which is facts out there. So, and that's again the importance of not being late. Don't be someone's exit liquidity. But we're running out of time here, so I want to move on to our last round here, the lightning round. And for you guys watching, this will be beneficial too. I want to ask each of you guys, what are three Web3 gaming projects that you personally are trying, like it's your goal to be more involved with them, whether it be like, oh, I just want to like have an investment with this or play the game more, to all the way up to like, okay, I'd love to become an ambassador, or start to be like play a bigger role in the community or something like that. We're gonna go in order of Forbidden, Money Plane, Kobe, and then Stash. All right, Forbidden, you're up first. What are 3 Web3 gaming projects you're trying to be more involved with in 2024?
So recently I decided to have the Magic Craft, and after that Legendary Heroes Unchained, because it's a good card. I got the Intake Fast 2 invitation. I was so proud. And got Unchained maybe for still continue for my top 5 budget decks on my other channel.
Sure.
Solid.
Yeah, good choices, I would say. All right, Money Plane, you're up. Excuse me. What are 3 Web3 gaming projects you're trying to be more involved with next year?
Can I sneak an extra one in at the start, or I have to limit it to
no,
3?
yeah.
All right. I mean,
Yes.
I always want to be involved in Parallel, man.
Yeah,
I'm so bullish on Parallel and Parallel Colony and everything they got going on there. But I'll pick 3 different ones. So I think my 3 are Off the Grid. Everything looks like it's going to be a breakout hit on AVAX, and I'm just a big fan of that battle royale type, and it looks like it's going to be really unique. Mythic Protocols one that's like kind of early alpha, but I got a chance to play it, and man, I had a blast playing that with friends. They have tried to really underemphasize the NFT side of it, so like maybe still pretty early, but I think I'd play the hell out of that game. And then the other one I'll say is Moonfrost. It's the farming sim, and it looks really, really clean, and they will not give me alpha access, so that is on my list for 2024.
All right. Well, yeah, Moonfrost. Send them this video and we'll clip the end and send them that. And
yeah, it's always business.
Yeah. Consistent follow up. That's how you get there. But all right, Kobe, you're up next, man. What are 3 Web3 gaming projects you're trying to be more involved with next year?
More with Shrapnel, like for real. Like with the YGG Summit just concluding, I dropped in like $5,000 worth of like extraction packs to these people here in Southeast Asia. Like I was like Santa in that summit. Like I'm giving like left and right. You want to play it? You heard about it? Yeah, okay. I'll give you this. I tapped into one of YGG sub guild that I know will be grinding it. I give them their share. Next will be Seed World from CDFI. I think that has tons of potential with GC. Then Off the Grid. I've been looking out for Off the Grid in AVAX. Like,
Everyone, man, everyone
yeah,
wants. We've been trying to get in touch
Bruh.
with them for ages, dude.
Bruh.
For ages.
Look. All right, I'm
Yeah, Stash, you're
I'm
up.
gonna
What are
go
you?
look. So
3
mine.
Web3 gaming projects.
There's two overlaps with mine. So yes, Off the Grid is one of my top ones. I've talked to Gunzilla Games. They're a great team, but like it's like an iron gate, man. You can't get through. You can, if anybody, I'm gonna break through that damn gate though.
Let me in.
I'm gonna have to bring in my good friend Doc and just tell him like, look, Doc, man, you got to tell the guys at Gunzilla, get me in, put me in. So yes, definitely Off the Grid. I think they're going to be, they're ahead of almost every other major like game in Web3 because their game is like pretty damn polished and pretty close to being done.
The campaign, they have a campaign.
Yeah. So that's definitely my number one. Number two is Shrapnel. I'm already quite involved with them, but want to be more involved with them. And number three overall is Animoca. Animoca Brands. Just working with them more directly on their variety of different games they're doing. They're a great team to work with, and I just want to be more involved with what they have going on because I know it's always going to be a rotating quality project powerhouse is really how I see Animoca.
At Art Basel, another one of the questions I got was like, who are like the biggest people in the Web3 gaming space? And I was like, if anyone is close enough to like say is too big to fail, it's Animoca. I mean, I would say, I don't know how they could fail at this point with literally all of the investment. Like, if one thing, like they would
they were already a successful company. I mean, it's not like they were already a successful company before they really started doing Web3 stuff. So it's not like, oh, they're a Web3 native and they just came out of nowhere. They were already doing gaming shit before this, and they were already successful. So I don't see Animoca going anywhere, man. They got their hands in every successful game out, every big title that you love. They have made some sort of investment round in them.
Every not beyond that too. It's like
beyond
infrastructure, like different services and things like that exist for games and like to support the gaming like ecosystem and things like that, esports, that side of things. Like they literally are investing in everything that they have going on. You throw enough darts at the board, you're gonna hit a bullseye at least once, right?
Yep. Diversify.
But yeah, all right, we're running out of time tonight, guys. We're actually out of time tonight, guys. I want to thank Forbidden, Kobe, Money Plane Man. Thank you guys for being on here for your first episode of Around the Metaverse. It's been awesome chatting with you guys out there. Everyone who stuck with us for the show out there watching, don't forget to head to the description and follow these guys and watch their content as well. Spread that mustache love to those guys. But that is all we have tonight. We're going to be back for another episode next Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, where I'm sure we'll have a lot more to talk about as we do every week. But if you guys want to chat more about this, hang out in the GIA Discord with us. But that's all we got tonight, folks. We out.
Peace.